I would say that my going back to that moment, what it was that happened during that, I was actually on an acupuncture table.
Mhm.
So the other thing that he said is, "I didn't realize you've been sick and I want to send you to acupuncture." And I was, again, a total skeptic, atheist. I'm like, I don't even understand this stuff, but whatever. What's a few more pokes and prods? I was on 7 different medications a day at 18 years old. I felt like really terrible. And I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to live to be 30 at this point. Like, I don't
Mhm.
even have enough energy for life right now, at all. And so when I laid down on that acupuncture table, the guy put in the needles, he left the room. And then I'm not saying I actually levitated, but I felt like I levitated. I felt like I was
Mhm.
sinking. I felt like I could hear voices in the room. And it didn't alarm me. Everything, I could trace out the meridians on my body, which he later confirmed were the actual meridians. Um, but in that moment when I was laying there by myself on that table at 18, I thought, okay, it's not really a rational thought, but it's this moment. It's like the birth of my son when they put him on my chest. Like, it's a moment of
Mm.
explosion more
Mhm.
than anything. And the realization that I had in that explosion laying on the acupuncture table was there is a God, and there's no way that science will ever be able to explain all this. And so I feel like that I essentially have lived my adulthood from the point of view of science serves the spirituality, serves the truth, serves the infinite, serves
Mhm.
consciousness, not the other way around. And what I would say that most people have mixed up and has created a lot of pain, even though we don't necessarily know how to trace it back exactly, is that we began to pray to the false god of science,
Mhm.
just as we have to the false god of money. And we can trust science in many ways. And I'm still very much grounded in science. That is the basis of everything that we do. But we can't get lost inside of that
Mhm.
because science is created by people.
Mhm.
And so in the rest of my undergrad, I was studying to be a researcher. So again, I still love science, but I understood in my studies of a researcher, to be a researcher is that you can massage data. You can make data say what you need it to say. If you
Mm.
just run it through a
It's
different,
interesting.
really plausible and understandable statistical analysis, you can actually change how it looks, and you can look to find the evidence of what you're looking for, just like you can with everything. If you believe that, if you have a certain construct of reality, whether you're walking around as an individual or whether you're a researcher, you end up finding often what it is that you look to see, because that's the lens through which we see things.
Mhm.
And I'll just add one more to that. I remembered studying in anthropology that there were a bunch of Westerners that came to an indigenous um, nation here in the United States, and here in North America, I should say, and they were um, convinced that young women, when they had their first period, were being banished because they were unclean into a little menstruating hut. And that hut actually, according to that nation, that tribe, was of the most sacred, and they were holding a massive sacred space. But the projection that we can have as an observer is so flavored by the lens that they thought that they were being banished for their uncleanness, which is a Western European thought, not not an indigenous North American thought, so far as I know. So at least not to that particular nation. So the lens with which we understand reality is everything. And how do we understand what is possible inside of the space of the infinite, inside of the space of what is practical? And how do we know that when we look to understand that we know we won't fully ever know the answers to everything, and letting ourselves stay both strong and humble inside of that
Mm.
knowledge?